Now, the stage is, of course, set, the date has been finalized, and the countdown has well and truly started. In 48 hours from now, the White House is set to roll out the carpet for the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, America's most crucial ally in South Asia. Like I said, this will be Prime Minister Modi's first state visit to the United States and his fourth face-to-face meeting with the American president. He will be arriving in New York on the 20th of June and attend a state dinner on the 22nd of June. This will be after addressing a joint session of the U.S. Congress, which of course will be another historic moment. As we described to you, it's a jam-packed schedule that lies ahead. Now, it was in 2016 when he delivered his first address to the U.S. Congress, and this will be his second. And that, by the way, is a feat that is unprecedented for an Indian leader. No Indian Prime Minister has addressed the US Congress twice. And why just Indian Prime Ministers? World over, very few leaders and dignitaries have been given this honor. And this includes the likes of Winston Churchill and Nelson Mandela. So PM Modi's address will put him in the same league as them. But what exactly is the purpose of this visit, you wonder? What is on the Prime Minister's agenda and what should you expect? Let's break it down for you. To start with, the overarching aim of the Prime Minister's visit here is to strengthen India's bilateral ties with the United States. And according to the US Ambassador to India, Eric Garcetti, he described this goal quite aptly. The goal essentially will be to deepen cooperation vis-a-vis four important pillars. That's peace, prosperity, the planet, and people. And how will these goals be achieved is the question. Through a series of deals and agreements in the fields of defense, technology, telecommunications, rare earth metals mining, also space exploration, biotechnology, clean energy, and artificial intelligence. Let's just take this one at a time. And let me start with defense. This will be one of the biggest areas of focus as far as this visit is concerned. Remember, between 2015 and 2019, the share of US in India's total defense imports rose by 14%. In the year 2020, defense trade between the two sides touched $20 billion. That's a sea change from near zero in 2008. This visit is set to take these ties further through a slew of defense agreements. And a few of them have already been signed, by the way, like the deal to buy the MQ-9B Sea Guardian drones. India is slated to purchase 31 drones made by General Atomics. The Sea Guardian drones coming with a slew of features like being able to function unmanned and remotely, collecting intelligence, assisting in coordinated strikes, and conducting surveillance missions. Set to be a major boost for India's military infrastructure. And it will not be the only one. The deal also comes in the backdrop of reports that the Joe Biden administration will be signing off on a deal that would allow the General Electric company to produce jet engines powering Indian military aircraft. We will get to all of that in just a bit. For now, let's just focus on the second area of cooperation, and that is critical technology. Now, you may remember just a few days back, Joe Biden's national security advisor met India's national security advisor, Ajit Doval, at the India-US Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, or ICET. Now, this initiative is a framework agreed upon by India and the US for cooperation on critical and emerging technologies in areas including artificial intelligence, quantum computing, semiconductors, also wireless telecommunication. The delegations on both sides are expected to sign agreements in these sectors. Now, if I speak of telecommunications specifically, India and the US are expected to form new partnerships in the domain of emerging technology like 5G and 6G. And the US has already launched 5G networks, of course. Reports say that America's extensive data sets could soon be available for India as well. India has also signed agreements with an array of American firms in order to develop 6G networks. And reports say this is part of India's mission to lead the global south into the 6G era. And the next field of India-US collaboration could be rare earth metals mining, a very important factor. India is a rich source of rare earths, but is still heavily dependent on imports. And this is where a partnership with the US can actually help. It can help India become a critical supply chain of the minerals, along with enhancing its domestic manufacturing capacity by building new facilities to mine the minerals. Another area of cooperation between the two countries could be space. Reports say during Prime Minister Modi's visit, India and the United States will step up their space-related collaboration in 3 areas. What are they? Human spaceflight, planetary defense, also commercial space activity. And there's more. Just ahead of the Indian Prime Minister's visit, the US has also eased norms by releasing policy guidance on the eligibility criteria for those waiting for green cards to work and stay in America. And this is expected to help Indian technology professionals seeking green card or permanent residency. So in a way, this is going to be a win-win visit where both India and the US benefit. And for India, this visit is a unique opportunity to modernize its military, also ensure self-sufficiency and bridge the capacity capability deficit. And for America, this is a chance to utilize India as a counterweight to China. And the US sees Beijing as its biggest competitor and rival. So India, of course, has become very important for America's Indo-Pacific policy because the US wants to retain its position in the region, also counter China's regional dominance in diplomacy, also economy and trade. So in a nutshell, the interests of both India and the US converge on a plethora of fronts. The Prime Minister's visit will only deepen these convergences. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.